We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win.
Plans to cut the federal government, Elon Musk and his DOGE.
Who gives a
thank you
beep about Rosie O'Donnell and where she wants to go? I don't care what celebrities think about politicians or who they want to vote for. I think the last election proved it doesn't matter who you are.
You are a celebrity on politics.
Who cares what I think in terms of my picking a politician or who I vote for? You make your own decision. If she wants to move to Phnom Penh, move to Phnom Penh. She wants to go to Ireland, great. It's a better passport. You get an EU passport, not the British one. It's better. But who gives a...
The end game here, could you eventually get to a point where there's that you've got a huge economy, you've conjoined, you've merged the economies of Canada and the United States? Can you get to that point, you think?
Well, the best way, the president has said it, the best way to actually merge the economies of Canada and the United States is for Canada to become our 51st state. If they want to merge it, that's how you make it the 51st state. But think about this for a second. Why are American cars made in Canada? Why are they made in Canada? To the president, it just doesn't make sense. Why are American cars made in Canada? Those jobs should be in America. And that's what the president thinks, and that's what he says, and that's what he's going to execute. So the key point is Canada's going to have to work with us to really integrate their economy. And as the president said, they should consider the amazing advantages of being the 51st state of the United States of America.
I've got one
out of control, and it's both parties. The Republican Party's been controlled opposition. They have not had these tough fights.
That's right.
That's the tough fights we're going to have.
I mean, and to be fair, so people understand, and it's not an indictment to your point about both parties, but you know, another $8.4 trillion went to the debt under Trump administration. And to be fair, COVID had a huge part of that, but it's $3 trillion even before COVID hit, to your point. And I remember talking, by the way, you'll appreciate this, Steve. I remember being in Marine One talking to Trump, President Trump, about the issue of the deficit. And he literally looks at me and he goes like this with his hands. And he said, printing press, and literally dismissed it.
He was
completely.
kidding. He was kidding.
Well, I'm not the way he governed the first 4 years. I'm not sure he was.
By the way, the first couple of years, the deficits were under, I think, $400 or $500 billion. We came very close to actually trying to balance it. If we went back to pre-COVID spending, I mean, Scott Besson says this all the time. We don't have a revenue problem. And this is for everybody would think about having to increase your taxes. We have a spending problem. I mean, post-COVID, we've had explosion of some of these programs. I think you got to get your arms around them. But once again, these are going to be huge fights and they're not going to be painless. What I liked about Johnson today for the first time, because I think he's tapped us along and overpromised. And now we're in a situation that, you know, we have to do a CR, which we hate. If you think that the MAGA base and our show, we represent the hardest core of the hardcore.
Yep.
If you think we like sitting here and basically not lighting up the phones and accepting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's budgets, it's a tough pill to, and
it's a hell of a thing. I mean, I'm enjoying watching this in some respects.
No, but what I'd like
Chips, get ready for the laugh riot of the year. Welcome to the magnus opus of political theatre, Gavin Newsom's How to Be MAGA Light. Seriously, as we gear up for the 2028 elections, our dear Governor Newsom is dipping his toes into water red enemy. So there he is, Gavin Newsom, sipping his Napa Valley finest, thinking, how do I win over these MAGA folks? I hope it's not going to rain. And bingo, he decides to buddy up with none other than Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk. 2 podcasts in, because nothing says unity like embracing folks who think the Capitol riot was a guided tour with cucumber sandwiches. Not. The MAGA guest list for his podcast, Extremist Edition. That's what we're talking about here with Newsom. But why stop there? Gavin's website might soon feature guest blogs from a whole who's who of MAGA nut jobs. Is that thunder? Let's just see who we've got lined up on Gavin's podcast website promo. Alex Jones, he'll handle the wellness section, offering tips on how to turn paranoia into protein shakes. Marjorie Taylor Greene, heading up the science corner. Seriously, because who better to explain space lasers and weather control for Gavin Newsom's website than her? Then we've got Ted Cruz, He's going to be offering beard grooming tips and how to book last-minute flights to Cancun when the going gets tough. MAGA life, Gavin. Matt Gates, youth outreach, obviously. Tucker Carlson, well, he'll be doing a nighttime bedtime story to help you sleep, featuring tales of lost civilization when no one wore masks and everyone was free. Gavin, your website's going to be amazing. Fraternizing for pois. Anyway, as Gavin waltzes into MAGA territory, he's picking up new tricks. Maybe I'm going to get this done before the break goes. Maybe next he'll host a podcast called Both Sides Now, where he debates himself on whether California should succeed or join Florida to form the ultimate free, dumb state. Yeah. Oh, yes, the Bannon Banter Hour. I think that's what we're calling this podcast. Yes, Gavin and Bannon live, because they've done the podcast, live streaming from a bunker, dissecting the deep state, all while subtly promoting California wine as a perfect antidote to liberal tears. It's the crossover episode we never knew we needed, and to be honest with you, probably don't really want. Yes, Charlie Kirk's College of Constitutional Confusion. Seriously, I can't carry on with this. Let's not forget webinars with Charlie Kirk. Seriously, Gavin, put that on your website, where they unpack the Constitution using only alternative facts, lies, of course. It's educational. It's enlightening. It's entirely bullshit. Yes. And of course, for Gavin, the grand finale, the MAGA Gala. Jump in, led by Newsom. Make America grape again. Celebrating those bipartisan vineyards. I'm going to get this done as a cloud over my head. In this whirlwind of political rebranding, Gavin Newsom is proving, can't pronounce his name, you can teach an old Democrat new tricks, especially if those tricks involve a red cap and denying climate change. So as we head towards 2028, 3 years to go and counting, remember, in politics, today's enemy is tomorrow's podcast co-host. Hey, Gavin? Stay tuned, folks, because this show is just getting started. And Gavin and Newsom is all in, whether he's swapping recipes or, I don't know, if judging in wine box, or hunting. He should get her to review his wine, or hunting with Sarah Palin would be MAGA Light, brought to you by the man who, well, brought progressive to the party, but left with a red tie, Mr. Newsom. Who says you can't have your cake and tweet it too? Because that's Newsom.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win.
Plans to cut the federal government, Elon Musk and his DOGE team. The world's richest man, fresh off selling Teslas on the South Lawn of the White House, is also trying to juggle a business empire, which is getting hammered on the stock market. Now he's setting his sights on what he has called, quote, Ponzi scheme, Social Security.
The wage report in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate, because that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $600-700 billion a year.